Good evening. I interrupted my own Coke opening, which is supposed to be my trademark. Happy Wednesday, April 23rd, 2025. I made a promise to myself that I was going to do this as much as I could every week and just not stop. So regardless of if I have something interesting to talk about or something that I think is interesting to talk about, or something that's happened in the world or happened to me personally, whether that's there or not, I'm gonna show up. And tonight's one of those nights. I am feeling a little out of the loop in a lot of ways. I need to clear my throat. Let me mute for a second. All right, that's better. Much better. Oh my gosh, it's so much better. So I'm just gonna wing it until I get back into the swing of it. Wing it till I swing it. There's certainly been no dearth of interesting and or controversial things going on in the world, and to a lesser extent, the YouTube world. And I'm not inured to getting sucked into some of that from time to time. I skew older. I'm in the older demographic. Your 50s is not when you should be spending hours watching the latest YouTube drama. But here we are. I don't know what happened to Ethan Klein. But it's been sort of sad to watch, honestly. I've long since stopped being able to watch or listen to the H3 podcast. I was an intermittent listener, an intermittent subscriber, but I don't know what he's going through right now. Something seems to have fundamentally changed in his demeanor. Anyway, that's YouTube drama. I'm talking about iDubbbz in 2025. That's pathetic, is what that is. That's pathetic. Got a credit card here. Can't show it to you. So I haven't streamed much in the past year. And as you all know, that's largely because I am with child. And it's been fantastic. It's been a lot of work. It's been sort of draining, emotionally draining and physically draining as well. I've gained weight, gained about 15, 18 pounds over the past year, trying to get rid of it now for bikini season. Sort of filled out my face in a way that I don't mind that it fills out my face. I mind when it starts to fill out my belly. By the way, this shirt I'm wearing, it's just Slay Girl Slay. I can't. Was designed by my partner, very talented artist and TikToker. So you can go check her out, except I can't say her name here. Satan's Bee 666. That's what I can say. And she's the mother of my youngest son. And we've been living together, and it's been a little bit of a roller coaster, but you know, we're committed, and we're trying to do Henry, my son, right. So that's taken up a lot of my time. It's taken up a lot of resources too, right? So like I'm not buying, you know, I'm not going to the local thrift store and buying a ton of props anymore. And although, you know, a lot of the stuff that we get for Henry, I could use as props. A lot of that sort of tactile books and toys and fidget type things that 18-month-olds love. We just yesterday went to his 18-month checkup. I promise the whole stream is not going to be this. I know it's really, really boring to hear parents talk about their infant children. But we went to his 18-month checkup. He is in the 95th percentile for height, the 98th percentile for head diameter. Circumference, head circumference. And 35th percentile for weight. So he's a little bit on the skinny side. But he talks a lot. His vocabulary must be between 50 and 100 words, which is fantastic. And he's a little shit. He gets very, very demanding when he doesn't get what he wants and doesn't get it immediately. But he's not walking. He's 18 months old and he's not walking. He's crawling really fast. And he cruises, and you know, he lifts himself up and he climbs stairs and all this stuff, but he just doesn't want to walk. You know, so we have to get past that. And that's all I'm going to say about that. The point is that's been taking a lot of my time, and you know, some of the things that fall by the wayside are making elaborate videos. I've certainly had, you know, a fair amount of ideas for videos. By the way, chat, I will go back and check chat in a minute and answer any questions that you have. So fire away if you have any questions. But I'm guessing it's mostly the regulars. So probably don't have many questions left. How many questions can you ask? Yeah. So making elaborate videos has fallen by the wayside a bit. I still have all this equipment. It's all set up. I mean, kind of see it here, you know, at work. If I occasionally zoom into a meeting using this setup, it obviously gets a lot of comments. And people just think that I'm weird, which great. Want to be weird. That's if you got to be categorized into a single word, weird is probably the best mononym. Is that right? Hold on. Yes, it is. Sorry. Thought I misused the word mononym, but I did not. As far as like physical health, apart from the aforementioned weight gain, I think I'm okay. I gotta admit, I did start smoking September of 2024, which has just been, terrible. I don't want to continue, but it really did sort of fill a void for something that I needed at the time. And once I'd been doing it, I smoked in my 20s, and I had not smoked at all for over 20 years. And it was, frighteningly easy to pick back up and get back into that swing. So I'm counting my cigarettes, and yes, I'm not vaping, I'm smoking, trying to get off that trip. So maybe when I talk about my physical health, there needs to be an asterisk next to it. Yeah, but it's added a bit of graveliness to my voice that I find it comforts me. I talk to myself. The clown went to the doctor and said, the man went to the doctor and said, "I'm depressed. What can I do?" And the doctor said, "Go see Bozo the Clown. He makes everybody laugh. You can't see Bozo the Clown and be unhappy." And the man said, "But doctor, I am Bozo the Clown." So yeah, I'm Bozo the Clown. Except I can talk to myself. And it works. That's the important thing. It works. So much has happened in the past 2 years that it's difficult to start looking at it and saying, well, I want to talk about this. I want to talk about that. There's just so many things that have happened. The shift in the socio-political climate has been drastic, frightening. I don't know where we're headed. I don't know what's going to happen. In a situation that I would have thought highly improbable, nigh impossible to be in, if you had asked me a few years ago, and I, was naive enough to think that Kamala Harris was a shoo-in, because who would want the guy that did all that shit? People have short memories. It's true. And, the one good thing from it has been, when you feel like maybe, I could never go into politics because I, used to smoke weed when I was young, or I have somewhat of a sordid past. You got your in. He's a groundbreaker when it comes to having a less than stellar CV for arguably the most important single job in the world. If he can do it, anyone can. So we have no excuses apart from not being born extremely wealthy, right? Do I want to talk about Elon Musk? I made some ASMR for him a year ago. He seemed to be going through a tough time. Reports of him crying on the White House carpet. His strange obsession with repopulating the planet with his own IVF babies. His bizarre, outlandish behavior when you give him a microphone. I'm glad that he seems to be stepping back, but there's a part of me that thinks, he's an idiot, but he's probably the smartest idiot in that room, right? So I don't know. I don't know. Don't know what's coming. As I said, it's not going to be fun. We need to organize a political upheaval in a way that this generation and the previous generation has never had to do. And even the previous generation from now, I would say Gen X on, right, has never had to do that. So We don't know how. But it's got to be done. A lot of people are I've former friends who, were very progressive or presented as very progressive, who now it seems that, the sort of point man, the fucking, the watermark has been, there's been a dude who's gone ahead and made it all right to do whatever you want, say whatever you want, and say fuck the feelings of others and fuck the rights of others. And that was, just a few years ago, that was very frowned on. You had to be careful. There was a reason you had to be careful. You had to be careful because you needed to treat people well, or they were not going to treat you well. And now it just seems like, how low can we stoop? How many notches can we put that limbo bar down and still get under it? It's emboldened, people who were essentially, were always right wing, but because it was not acceptable in the circles that they ran, they adopted a posture of being progressive, or at least being, socially progressive. And the masks came off, right? And all the cliches, when someone tells you who they are, believe them, all that stuff. And I do think that, frankly, like the reaction to this sort of wave of intolerance and dominance, you can't be neutral on a moving train, right? So you've got to take a stand, and I think it's incumbent upon every one of us, everybody, right, to take that stand, not just by going to protests or by donating to, like, for God's sake, don't donate to the Democratic Party. I mean, what's the use? But we need to, I feel like we need to be more personally accountable and call those people out, whether they're, close friends or family or what have you. And people who say, well, there's good and bad on both sides, and don't let politics get in the way of your friends or whatever that is. Well, I think it's long past time to say fuck that and extricate those elements from your life. You may find yourself close to friendless, but that is the burden of the righteous man, of the righteous person. I'm still going to use pronouns, so fuck these people. Okay, let me look at what do we got here. What do we got? We've got a bit here. Katie Ruff. Oh, Katie Ruff knows me. Some flippantly irreverent remarks. I'll have to imagine their flippantly irreverent remarks. What about my flippantly irreverent remarks? Hey, Katerina, good to see you. Nightshade, good to see you. Getting back to you on the thing. You know what I'm talking about. Bella, Emily, hello. Maddie, how are you doing? So, Maddie, there we go. Like, Maddie is, I would say, would not be insulted if I called Maddie a regular. I used to do a weekly podcasty type of stream on a separate channel. I'm going to keep doing that on this channel, though. And it will be Wednesday nights at 8:45. Now, I've had to push the time a little bit, again, because of family obligations. But I want to try some different things with it. And this is not the time for me to roll out those different things or even really talk about those different things. Just sort of brace yourself don't be surprised. But good to see Maddie. Amy Myers, hi, how are you doing? Cowboy Catman, not sure who you are, but hi. I think I said hi to Emily already. KJ, good to see you. Amy, are you still in the DC area? How are folks overall with all the government job losses? Well, yes, I am still in Nova, so I'm, across the Potomac from DC, and it's affected people terribly. Like there is a flood of newly unemployed people who are highly qualified, have been working for the federal government for years, actually doing stuff, not just collecting paychecks. And they are now, looking for jobs in the private sector that puts a burden on said private sector too, especially if they're trying to attract the best of the best. They want to be aggressive in their calibrations, right? And make sure that there are room for the cream of the crop, regardless of where they come from. So it's definitely had a major effect on those looking for work. I don't want to cry a bunch of first world tears, but these are people with families, and they relied on their jobs just as much as anybody else does. And regardless of what you may be told, the vast majority of them were not seat warmers, as it were. So whatever. I mean, I'm not, I'm not wholly against privatizing some things that are currently federally run. I don't really believe in the idea of federalizing things in order to give them their proper allotment. And I do feel like sometimes that what ends up happening is they do the bare minimum, sort of the minimum viable product, essentially, right? To do what they're doing, and any money on top of that is dividends to political shareholders, as it were. If I say as it were again, somebody, Umbra hand. Yeah, so 8:45. I was a little late tonight. Sorry about that. It was literally yesterday night that you were hoping I would stream. Yeah, I'm not retired. I've got a lot that I want to get to before I die, and it's later than you think, and I think it's pretty late. So imagine how much later it actually is. Okay. Oh, Nightshade, you got a colonoscopy. I hope that you're okay, right? Like I need to get one. Probably need to get 2 or 3. Iron Within. Been watching you for 9 years, never caught a live stream before. Lovely to be able to pop in and say hello. Oh, it's 2 a.m. there. Well, thank you for saying hello, Iron. I appreciate it. I hope that you are sleeping at this point. Intergalactico, good to see you, by the way. Yeah, it did. It did. KCD2 killed my wanting to give Oblivion a second chance, because Oblivion was my least favorite of the series, not counting Daggerfall. So I'm not sure why a remake would be any better, because my problems with Oblivion were more fundamental than the way that it looked, right? I don't know what Thunderbolts is. I meant it in the sense of Barry Bonds putting an asterisk next to his home runs because he used steroids. But no, and I don't want to call people out for this, but I do see this a lot, especially with the younger kids. You see something used in a comparatively recent show or whatever it is, artistic medium, and You kind of think that if somebody uses that, that's where they must have got it from. But of course, usually not the case. Oh, good night, Katerina. Dreamweaver. People wanted him to do all the shit he did again. Well, it's a much different presidency this time around. It's not. It's more efficient at being evil, I would say. I seem different. I gained weight. Maybe that's why I'm different. Could that be it? Getting fatter and fatter and oh so lazy. Zedar's got it. No need to mask anymore. Be the piece of shit you've always wanted to be. Trump. Dreamweaver, this is true. Yeah, this is true. And these things do ebb and flow. And you know, hopefully there will be a peaceful transition of power. We won't get another Putin, which is, I know, Trump's role model, right? And I mean, I'm going to say this, and I feel like it could come back to haunt me. But JD Vance just doesn't seem like he would clinch the presidency. I just don't see it. Maybe there's something big happens in the next few years, but I'm hoping that things return to some semblance of normalcy. Yeah, Michael, I don't know what to tell you. You want me to just stop the stream and do a gameplay stream? As I said in the last live stream, you know, I'm playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. I put over 200 hours into that, so that would be one hell of a gameplay stream. But I decided that was going to be me time. Look at this. Ask me small your hair, whisper in your ear, ask me birch your hair. My name is Will Manister. Don't know. I don't know what to say or do to that. I'm not below pimping myself, but no idea here what's being talked about. Warp Raven, good to see you. I'm glad that people have missed these streams, or some people have, right? Like I've missed doing them. It's felt like a void. Yeah, it's Eileen Warnos. It definitely, it gets people's attention. Right? Hiver, good to see you. Yes, I did. Warp Raven, me too. Like if there's a game I'd like to see remade, Morrowind would be high on that list because, you know, with thanks to blanking on his name, Michael. He was a designer at. How can I be forgetting this? He was a designer at Bethesda. We actually interviewed him to come back when I was there, but ended up passing on him. But he wrote a lot of the strange stuff that showed up in Morrowind, and that's the stuff I like. The strange stuff, you know, worms. You had an area of Tamriel where their transportation system was a giant worm that was, and you didn't ride the worm, you were consumed by the worm and then excreted by the worm at your destination. That kind of weirdness. I love it. Oh, yes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah. I mean, if I had to sit through a JD Vance meeting, this Pope wasn't too bad as far as popes go. Okay, I got to ban Will Manister, don't I? Ban him. Yeah. It's cool to be evil now. Liz, right there with you. Oh, yeah, Anna, of course, Michael Kirkbride. um, so media, like what's going on with media? Well, let's be brutally honest with each other. Let's talk about Severance for a minute, because I have conflicting thoughts on it as a show. I think it's beautiful. I think it's extremely well acted. I enjoyed watching it. I can't help but feel like the creators slash writers are just kind of stringing us along a little bit. They may not know what they're doing. They may not have the entire world fleshed out. They didn't do a Tolkien. They didn't sort of map out everything beforehand and then know where they were going from the get-go. They did more of a Lost, I think. I still enjoyed it very much, but I was left with that feeling, especially with the end. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but we'll see. And The White Lotus season 3, finished that recently. Also good. Also enjoyed it. Also felt a little bit disappointed with the ending. Again, I don't want to give any spoilers, but Walton Goggins' character was I don't think that was handled so great. Didn't feel good to me. But I somebody who loved Walton Goggins in Hateful Eight, loved him in Vice Principals, loved him in Righteous Gemstones. Probably don't want to be. You don't want to follow him on Instagram. It's a bit self-centered. Like he's always posting pictures of himself shirtless, drinking whiskey, or shirtless, driving a convertible, or shirtless, straddling a cask, an oak cask. Feels weird, man. Feels weird. And there was that stuff with, was it Emily Lou Wood or Mary Lou Wood? I forget who played his love interest. That seemed like there might have been something going on there. Amy, yeah, this is terrifying, and they're moving to give him more power, and the FDA standards were relaxed. Apparently, like there's not going to be FDA inspectors or spot check inspectors. What's going to be the result? I mean, it's easy to see where that line goes. Just follow the tainted meat, essentially. Oh, Intergalactico. Should have talked about this before already. Right up my alley, Black Mirror. I do think this season was a bit of a return to form. I was pleasantly surprised by most of the episodes. There's still one episode I haven't watched. Hotel Reverie, I think it's called. Gotta watch it soon. But was pleasantly surprised after a sort of crappy run, in my opinion, like the past couple of seasons. Sort of like my obsession with Inside Number 9, where I was so just invested in that show that it was hard to admit to myself that the last 4 seasons were just not very good. So Black Mirror this season actually has a sequel to The Callister that I thought was good. I didn't think that was going to be good, but I thought it was good. Probably my favorite. And when you ask someone their favorite Black Mirror episode, it seems like they almost always say San Junipero. And that's in my maybe top 3 Black Mirror episodes, but it's not my favorite Black Mirror episode. My favorite Black Mirror episode is The Entire History of You. And it's strange how fast culture moves in this way, where if you go back and watch The Entire History of You now, it seems pretty dated. It's bizarre. I really liked Common People. Thought it was funny, poignant, sort of self-deprecating. Interesting that Netflix allowed it to be aired, seeing how it sort of stridently opposes what Netflix espouses. Didn't really actually I did love the Mandela Effect one. And apparently they released 2 versions of it with different so in the context of again, without giving anything away, there is an element in that episode where they talk about the Mandela Effect and how it can have an effect on your mind. You can remember things very, very clearly one way and then find out they're another way. Berenstain Bears is sort of a keystone example. People think it was Berenstain Bears instead of Berenstain Bears. And they released 2 episodes where the things they're talking about in the Mandela Effect are shown in different ways. So if you saw one, the knock-on effect, and I assume the intended effect was that the water cooler talk would be meta, because one person would say, "Oh, it was so funny that it was Barney's instead of Bernie's," and someone else would say, "No, it was Bernie's instead of Barney's. Barney's, Bernie's, Barney's, Bernie's." And then if they go to check, I don't know how they were separating their user groups to figure out who they were going to show what, but you either got one or the other, and I think that is a very clever way of being meta. I did not like Plaything really. I liked Eulogy. I didn't think I was going to like Eulogy because it sounded a lot to me like a Red Dwarf episode where you step into photographs. But it's not that simple. It's touching. You could kind of see the twist coming, but whatever. Who cares? It's more than a piece of media that evokes emotion in you and rivets you and makes you think. It's more than just, oh, I knew it was this, right? That's just like a little cherry on top. Like, let's not forget about the meat under the cherry. I'm of course talking about meat cupcakes. So, yeah, I mean, Charles Brooker, Charlie Brooker. His mind must be a great place to hang out. He seems to really sort of be on top of the zeitgeist and be able to weave compelling narratives from things that he notices, sort of like a comedian would, except much more clever. What is the creepiest episode of Black Mirror? I'm sorry, this just popped up. It's difficult to definitively name a creepiest episode, as what one person finds unsettling, another might find fascinating. However, some episodes consistently rank high in terms of chilling content and overall dread. Episodes like Men Against Fire. Thank you, AI, for this. Thank you, AI. Here, let's take a look at this. So it's difficult to definitively name a single creepiest episode, as what one person finds unsettling, another might find fascinating. However, some episodes consistently rank high in terms of chilling content and overall dread. Episodes like Men Against Fire, Men Against Fire, and Men Against Fire are often cited for their unsettling psychological horror. Thank you, AI, for being an unwitting source of comedy. By the way, Men Against Fire is one of the worst Black Mirror episodes, I think, by any metric. It is so heavy-handed in its... it's just... And I know I literally just said that the twist doesn't really matter. But if that's all you have, it better be a good one. And it's not. And it's just... It's like, they used a hammer where they should have used a smaller hammer. What's the saddest Black Mirror episode? I'm not going to click it. I'm going to say what the saddest Black Mirror episode is. It's San Junipero. That's the saddest one, right? Or is it the one with Be Right Back? Yep. See, our lovely friend, AI friend, considers Be Right Back and The Entire History of You to be among the saddest Black Mirror episodes. I didn't think The Entire History of You was sad. I thought it was frightening. The most intense Black Mirror episodes. Oh, Nosedive. Yeah, I can see that people are saying that that's intense. Let's see here. We have a Goggins. Some Goggins comments going on. Yeah, he doesn't mind being naked. I don't watch Stranger Things. I watched the first season and then I dipped. Yeah, this feels about right for Walton Goggins, which is a shame. I really, if you have not seen Vice Principals, I can't recommend enough that you go watch it. It's, I think probably, well, I don't know, maybe Danny McBride's best. Black Mirror is an anthology series, so it's about everything and anything, and you can jump in anywhere. And I recommend you do. Maybe avoid seasons 4 and 5, 3 and 4. Everyone go right now. Okay, I have to go right now. What are the best 80s shows and best 90s shows? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, as far as television goes, there were no good 80s shows or 90s shows. They're all, let's say, The Heat of the Night had some pretty good social commentary and some really, really good acting. But any show that's a comedian with a family, they were all so templated. It was, you could just, silver spoons, different strokes. You could, the facts of life, you could just switch the actors and the names. And it was just the very special episode of Michael J. Fox and um, what was the name of that show? I forget the name of Michael J. Fox's show. Um, I'm hard pressed to come up with a good 80s show. Yeah, I mean, if you want to giggle, right? Maybe. That's probably even debatable. Oh, yeah. Well, Twilight Zone. Fuck, see, look at me. I'm forgetting stuff. Twilight Zone is just incredible. And the sort of basis for a lot of these twisty shows, dystopian shows that we're talking about now. Yeah, Twilight Zone is completely a classic and holds up, in my opinion, in large part because of the being in black and white. Yeah, I'm glad that people are proving me wrong here. I don't like the original Star Trek. I mean, whatever, it's all right, but not a fan of it. It's pretty nuts. Channel Zero, yes, the No End House. I thought that was really good, eerie concept that they were able to follow through to completion. Yeah. It's not a horror series, Michael. It is a cornucopia of emotions that you will feel watching Black Mirror shows. Wyatt, I talked to you, Wyatt, didn't I? We had a conversation. I think you were just going to school or something. You were majoring in we talked about what you were doing at the time, which was uni, I think. Is this the same Wyatt? Let me know. Oh, I have seen this. I have not gotten it. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's all over. Indigo has returned. Is this Indigo? Like I said, AI is great for a giggle. And, the way Adobe has integrated AI into Premiere and Photoshop, I find pretty stunning. And even like the kind of cheesy stuff, like I recently, for business reasons, acquired a new MacBook, the M4 Max. And it has this thing called Image Playground where you can just drag elements together and it essentially fuses them. So, you could take a picture of yourself and then a descriptor of something you want added to it. And it gives you can choose your different styles. And it's a good way to kill a few hours, I'm in a bit of a dilemma when it comes to, for instance, like I'm talking about doing a repeat of this, continuing this every week, making weekly installments. I'd like to brand it. Money is a concern for me at the moment. So I don't really have, I like just saying this out loud, I know what I have to do. I don't really have the money to pay someone to do it. So I was just like saying, oh, could I use, Dolly to do something? And immediately as I'm saying, I'm like, no, you can't do that. you gotta pay for it or suck it up, do it yourself. Let's not contribute to the decaying of the arts any more than we already have. Twin Peaks. Wow. Seriously? Yeah, so are you, Indigo. What about me looks older? Is it the neck? The neck area, the further receding hairline? I just messed up my hair too. Um yeah, see, this is all pablum to me. I mean, I can see how you could watch it as a comforting show, but I don't see how you could hold it up as this is an example of like a great show. Family Ties, yes, Deadly Nightshade, thank you. Yeah, well, so did I. Like Michael J. Fox was sort of a lot of people's role model. Um, I was, believe it or not, a young conservative. It's a young conservative. I wore the square tie that was like stitched. It's pathetic. And I looked up to Michael J. Fox, and yeah, it is terrible. Yay, Wyatt! Thank you for answering. Yeah, yeah. I wanted to be sure that I remembered that it was you. Who is Indigo? I need context now. Indigo is a character. Um, Indigo has been around for a while. Often called in. Oh, that's something I do want to bring back, the call-ins, by the way. Not tonight, but in the future. So Indigo's been around, called in a bunch of times. More often, she just hurls insults and then retreats back into the comfort of her cowardly lair. But I believe going to school in New York, something like that. But very funny person, even though very mean. You need to hang out with us more, Michael. You'll get to know everybody. Oh, Maddie, okay. Good night. I appreciate you staying around as long as you did. I know you probably left a long time ago, but, across the pond and all that. Oh, Indigo is in New Zealand. Yeah. Well, there's a very concrete answer to this, obviously. Like at my work, they're doing the same thing. Business value. How few people can we get to do the work that is currently being done by a larger number of people now? Much like the circular saw put the hacksaw out of business, Okay, you answered yourself there. Okay. Echomancer, good to see you too. I hope you're doing well. I hope everybody's doing well. I've missed hanging out and chatting. I have a little bit of a stuffed nose. Maybe that's the vibe that's you're catching on to, Michael. I don't know. Yeah, it's our thing. Well, Amy gets special dispensation too. You get special dispensation too, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. So yeah, I do call-ins, or I will do call-ins, and all you need is a phone. I prefer it to be video. If it's just audio, it just isn't the same to me. I like to see who I'm talking to and have it side by side and just, rip each other apart. So you would email me a request to chat, and I would send you a Zoom invite. So I guess that's the requirement, is Zoom. Has it been this long, Amy? Wow. Well, I want to break that as soon as possible. I'm not, because I don't know you, Michael, I'm not sure how serious to take your comments or if you understand the context of the sort of jocular manner in which I use that analogy. Right. Isn't that right, Umbra? Like, when I look back on the last decade or so, it feels like COVID broke us in some fundamental way. It gave people justification for all kinds of things. And a lot of people never really got back on track. And I probably include myself in that. I don't think I ever got 100% back on track since COVID. I think I've been running on fumes. Time to don the nitrile glove. Is that frightening? Good color. Good color. So here's the deal. In the future, I will be doing this. I'll be doing it weekly. Wednesdays at 8:45. There will be a call-in element. It will be more professional than what you're seeing now. Let me do something real quick. But not too professional. There's something quaintly lovely about not being professional. And I'm going to call it something, but it's not going to be Beyond the Double Red Doors. That I will retire that, let that be its own thing. And no, I just, I have a lot of props. So I'm going to let it be its own thing, and let's see where it goes. Let's see what it does. I don't want to leave just yet. One of the other things that I've been doing since, ending that long run of, it was almost 100 episodes. I think it was like 98 episodes or something like that. And I missed several weeks. So it was a couple of years that I was pretty much every Wednesday. I'm surprised I was able to be so consistent, knowing my own character. Oh, that's sweet, Amy. Yeah, this is. Whoops, sorry. Cody from Side 3. I agree. Yeah, we're sort of, it's very passe and sort of like people don't want to be reminded of it. So there's a little bit of anger if you, I think, some latent anger if you mention COVID. Wow. That's astute, perceptive, perspicacious. So one of the other things that I've been doing has been working on music. And of course, I never go anywhere without this. This is, as I'm sure some of you remember, a Frignani classical guitar, Italian, big fan. in a very unique tuning that you might recognize from that. The tuning is, I think it's C, A, C, C sharp. It's like Dadgad, but you lower the G string another step. So I was working on something. I've been working on this for a while now. I don't know what the end is. It's just a piece. Oh my gosh, Deanne Jordan, a $20 super chat. That is so sweet. How can I put it up here? Well, I'll take thoughtful. I don't know if I'll take talented, but I'll take thoughtful. So I'm working on that. I'm working on sort of a version of Flint to the Fight, which is a song that I'd written for the Last of Us video that I then picked up, and with some encouragement from my partner, am re-recording it. It's basically this. So I'm, let's see, I don't have the capo here, but it's... fires burning, 'cause I carry no more spark. Once it's lost, it's gone forevermore. And if fire keeps us safe from bumps in the night, we are doomed. Whoops. We bring no flint to the fight. So something like that, with one guitar being more like and one guitar being doing what I was just doing this riff. We could do a oh, Warp Raven. So kind. That's very kind, thank you. No need for this, Michael. Thank you so much. Sorry, let me catch up on chat here. So I'm at a point with this where I'm piddling with it. I'm adding stuff I shouldn't add. And my partner is of the opinion that this part that I've added is going too far. I'd love to get a vote going on whether or not people like the part that I'm about to play or not. The problem is, hey, presto. The problem is Ecamm has changed a lot and does not look like wherever the create a vote is, it's not in Ecamm. Do I have to go to YouTube to do it? All right. Let's see. Can I add a... Let me engage with my audience. Let's start a poll. Okay, so I'm going to start a poll here, and here's the parts. Yeah, I've been adding stuff to this, right? Because it was just. And then it's evolved to the point that it's. Like that, right? There's a lot of. There's like a. Which we're all okay with. But then I added another part, and my partner was not so into it. And I'm not sure if I'm into it. So I'm starting a poll. Please don't vote until you've actually heard the two parts. So the first part, and this would be if you like this part, or if you like it like this, then you'd be voting no. Okay, so before it was. Like that, okay? So if you like it like that, vote no. Now I'm going to do the part with the fiddly bit. So it's the, instead of, it's, so that's the fiddly bit. So if you like the fiddly bit, vote yes. And if you prefer it to be more, straightforward, then vote no. I'll take this very seriously. I'd like to incorporate feedback. There's a time when Leprous did a live stream and literally wrote a song by crowdsourcing it, and you can tell. It's called Nighttime Disguise by Leprous. It's a bunch of pieces kind of stuck together, but I like it, so, you know. All right. Hey, Sweet Pea. Good to see you. Fiddly forever. I can't restart the poll, Michael. Okay, let's see where we're at. Excuse me. $76.24 fiddly bit. Huh. I don't know. Did I phrase this in a way that sort of, did I skew the results? Is this not a clean data set? I'm not sure. Like, I may have influenced people to go for the fiddly bit. I think my personal take on it is the fiddly bit is unnecessary, and I have a habit of like just adding and adding and adding until things are like more of a showcase, like trying to show off or something, or be a shredder instead of what's best for the song, you know. So it looks like fiddly bit is in. Umbra, you're correct. You're correct. I'm gonna let it sit. Like I often find I could be more objective if I let things sit for a while and then come back to them. So that's what I'm going to do here. And I'm going to let you all sit and think about how you felt about this live stream. I really appreciate the super chats. That was fantastic. Unexpected and unnecessary, of course. I will be back in a week, and things will be different. Yeah, this is what my partner says. Just, I mean, not necessarily it's a good part. She likes it, but stop overanalyzing. So yeah, I mean, this is my curse and my blessing and my the burden I must bear. Thank you all for hanging out. I needed this. This is like a shot in the arm, and I feel better. I feel better. Take care, and I will see you all next week. Hopefully, next week. Mark it down. There's gonna be something special. All right. See you next Wednesday, 8:45 p.m. Eastern Time, right here. Bye.